Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I got a photo that I wanted to bring up if we could. I will start by saying that I do think frequency is important. I do think it would be better to see a more frequent train service than less frequent. Um, in fact, I would say it would be nice to see it go beyond 5 minutes down to 3 minutes. But I do think that there is a consideration for where the demand is and the concomitant costs that go with that. I appreciate the fact that these decisions are being data driven, and I appreciate the fact that what I heard today from staff is that they will be monitoring. And should there be a determination that demand increases to the point where there's a need to increase frequency, that will be done. Um, One of the comments I heard on that from staff was that they're monitoring it because they want to make sure that we're not leaving anybody behind. Um, so I guess I would ask staff, are you aware if we have left people behind on platforms such as Fallowfield during on-peak service as a result of overfull 95 buses?
Mr. Mayor, I'm not aware of any consistent instances of that.
Well, I would say that we have, and that's on peak. That's during the 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock time. The picture that I brought up there, that's Fallowfield Station on Tuesday morning. So, this is, I'd say, the good news of this discussion is, we are bringing transit riders back. It's not a completely doom and gloom story, I don't think. The problem is we're just trying to mishmash how we get those people back downtown. I had a great conversation with some really frustrated public servants last week on the topic of, hey, we've been ordered back to work 3 times, 4 times a week. In good faith, we came out to the Fallowfield platform and we got to watch 2 or 3 packed 95s go by in front of us. And as a result, I couldn't leave Fallowfield Station for about 35 minutes. That's pretty frustrating. That is what I would call need to have as opposed to nice to have. It is a nice to have to increase the frequency of the train from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. It will be a need to have when we have capacity issues at the train, which is not what I'm hearing today. But what I can say for a fact is that we need to make sure that we have the ability to leverage some operational resources from time to time if there's an R1 service that gets popped up, to make sure that if we need to pay some overtime to some drivers or we need to invest resources, those resources are getting invested in places like the 95 so that we don't have our folks standing at Fallowfield Station for 35, 40 minutes. That's what's going to be the nail in the coffin. It's not going to be someone waiting for 4 to 8 minutes downtown. And I do believe we will get to that. I do believe we will get to that. I think the data will drive that decision, and I look forward to when that's the case. And actually, I think it will get beyond that. So we get to the point where it's every 3 minutes or 2+, and that'll be great. I think the transit riders need to be respected from the fact that there's more than one spine here. Yes, we need the LRT to be consistent, and it has been reliably consistent. But what hasn't been reliably consistent are those spine routes for the buses to get people to the LRT. That's what's going to kill our transit ridership. So for that reason, I will not be supporting the Leaper motion. I appreciate the motion coming forward, and I appreciate the spirit behind it, and I look forward to when we're able to increase the frequency of the trains on the LRT Line 1 coming through. But in the short term, I think what's going to bring people back to transit ridership is the fact that they don't want to pay for parking downtown. They're frustrated with the gridlock on the roads. That's going to bring transit riders back. And yes, we do need to provide the best service we can, but the best service means spreading out a bit of that peanut butter around the toast here so that we get some love for the buses that are getting you to the train as well as the train. I recognize the train is a bright spot. I'd love to see that bright spot get even brighter. But in the short term, I can't support this because I want to make sure that at minimum, we're providing and able to provide the right level of services to the bus riders that are trying to get to the LRT. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.